tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Deluxe class, Hotshot. And as you can see, Cliffjumper is not the only one that gets repainted from a Bumblebee figure. Hotshot apparently now does as well. As you can see, really nice, cool blue recolor here. Very nice. You got the Deluxe class. Flip around here on this side. Very courageous little fella. He's got a courage of 9, strength of 8, so that's actually pretty impressive. Nice stats on this. You see that he comes with snap-on blasters. He's got 2 of them, which is really kind of cool. And this is really kind of like the first time that we've seen artwork for this guy, and I actually really do like the way that this looks. Very nice. There's a lot of character and a lot of color in there, and that's really kind of cool. Flip around here on the back, and you see his vehicle mode. Sports car mode, I'm sorry. Obviously his robot mode, other characters that are in the line. And it says that Hotshot spends most of his time trying to prove himself worthy of being called warrior by the older Autobots. Unfortunately, this often means either showing off, which bugs the more experienced soldiers, or rushing headlong into danger, which requires a rescue. He's got a lot of potential, but he's also got a lot to learn. So definitely sounds like Hotshot. Very kind of cool. I mean, it's a new character. This is really the first kind of non-show character that we've gotten. Up until now, all the toys that we've gotten have actually had characters in the actual show. So this is the first time that we've gotten something that hasn't appeared in the show. So it makes me wonder, are we going to get this guy on the cartoon at some point in time? Who knows? Let's get him open though and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Hotshot opened up and out of its packaging. And I don't know how it happened. I honestly have no idea. But through the course of what you just saw, and now, I've somehow lost one of his guns. He does come with 2 of them, but I have no idea where it is. Now, speaking of his weapon, it is the exact same mold that we had previously with the RiD Bumblebee. It is a little bit darker of a paint job, though, that you can see. And obviously, I still have Bumblebees, too, right here. But you can definitely see that this is a darker kind of gray plastic than this. But the molds are basically identical, and if you really wanted to get ridiculous, you can have that go on. I mean, if you so inclined. But for the purpose of the rest of this video, because I only have one, I'm going to use Bumblebees just so I can highlight how it basically looks. Now, when you combine them like they already were, you plug it in there, and that's what you have going on. Really kind of cool. I do like it. It's, you know, nothing spectacular. It's a little crazy looking because of the gigantic protrusion from his engine, but overall, you know, what are you going to do? Vehicle mode, though, I love the way this looks. I mean, I really like the actual Bumblebee, but the blue color on here really does make this just stand out a whole lot better. Here you have him. And here's the RiD Bumblebee, and I mean, Bumblebee, you know, it's accurate, it looks okay, but just something about it, the blue just looks so much better on here. Now, one thing that you're also going to notice is you got the painted door here, and then you got the painted roof. This is also painted, but it blends in a whole lot better, and it doesn't really kind of stick out nearly as bad as these bits do, so that looks a heck of a lot better. Now, obviously, this is accurate to how Bumblebee looks, although he's got taillights. This Bumblebee doesn't have taillights. This is accurate to how Bumblebee looks. As for Hotshot here, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are sitting here saying that they like this toy better than they like this one, and I really don't understand that, because they're basically the exact same figure. I will say that the first edition of Bumblebee is still my favorite, and I do have some problems with it, but the problems that I had with the Bumblebee don't really bug me all that much with Hotshot, mostly because he's a new character, and because of that, a little bit of variation in how he actually looks kind of works for me. He doesn't look like Bumblebee. That's where I get my enjoyment out of this figure even more than the RiD Bumblebee. But you can see some really cool kind of pinstripe detail on here with some flames. Like I pointed out before, he's actually got tailpipes, or taillights, not tailpipes. They both have tailpipes. He still has this little square bit right here that's not painted. That kind of sucks. It's kind of annoying. I like the lighter silver paint that they used on here. The headlights look like they're the same color, but instead of a black grill, he now has this gray or dark gray bit to him. But overall, really very nice looking. And the transformation really is still identical, and it's the same. We just take these arms. I'm just, the only reason why I'm doing it is because it's so easy and quick to do. Separate these wings, just like so. Take this. Fold this down, extend this all the way out, separate these. Now usually I rotate these all the way back just to kind of fill in the leg. Do that on here as well, fold out the foot, So you have a nice way to actually balance him, and he can actually stand on his own legs, which that's always a nice thing to do, I guess. Coming up to the top here, we're going to fold this down. We're going to take this section, fold this in, and this is going to rotate down. And this is actually, there's a little tab section in here. Where did I do with it? There it is. It's actually on here. That tab's kind of sort of in there. It doesn't really lock into place or anything, but it just kind of fits inside there just like so. And then the revealer gimmick, which I still think is really kind of fun. You just take this, kind of separate these, fold this around, and there you have Hotshot transformed. Very, very kind of cool. Now, like I said, the biggest thing with this guy is he's not Bumblebee. So the changes, like, well, not even the changes, but this little bit right here, the fact that his head actually sticks up a little bit more, where you can have these little side panels. On Bumblebee, it looked annoying. I liked it where it was down like this. But this actually coming up on this figure, I actually do kind of like, because like I said, it differentiates him from Bumblebee. And the color on this just is very striking. The blue on here is just really nice. And then you got this little red going through here, which, again, very sharp coloring. And then usually I fiddle with these where they're kind of flared back, but not all the way. I mean, I really do actually like this figure. For a character that's not Bumblebee, this mold works perfectly. And I guess that's really why I actually like this, because, like I said, it doesn't look like Bumblebee. It's got a little bit of a difference to him. Whereas the RiD Bumblebee figure really didn't look like the cartoon version of Bumblebee. So I really kind of didn't like that figure. That's why I like the first edition one so much more. Just as a separate character, this really wins. Now, one problem that I really do kind of have, and I'm going to kind of zoom in on this. Now, much like Bumblebee's, the doors, like I mentioned, were actually painted. You can kind of see it here. It's kind of hard to tell. On Bumblebee, it's a little bit easier to tell, where you can see that the entire door is just this clear translucent plastic, or well, blue translucent plastic. And the doors on the outside are actually painted. When it comes to this, you can see that I have a smudge on here where it's scratched. And you can now see through the plastic, and that really kind of bugs me. I don't particularly like that. In fair comparison, just in robot mode, you can definitely see that there's a big difference. Like I said, I didn't mind this guy too terribly much. I think the first edition is a better representation of the character of Bumblebee. One of my biggest gripes was this big ugly thing hanging in the back. With Hotshot here, that being there really doesn't bug me at all, because like I said, he doesn't have an actual cartoon counterpart. So I'm a lot more lenient in terms of the looks for the toy, because it doesn't have any actual TV character to compare him to. Now, one kind of cool feature is that he actually does have his visor that a lot of people that are fans of Hotshot would pretty much remember. As you can see, I can have it up right now, or it can swivel down, and you can actually have him like that, which, again, just adds to the different look. Now, that being said, the head itself is completely different than Bumblebee's. But and he's got some pretty good light piping. Well, no, that's actually the silver on his eyebrows, I guess. But he still has pretty good light piping that you can see. And the actual visor has light piping, which that's a little bit harder to see. But that's really kind of cool looking as well. Now, in terms of his articulation, it's the exact same as Bumblebee. The head here is on a small little ball joint, so you get a good range of motion. Not too terribly much, but you can get some left, right, up, down poses, things of that nature. The arms still kind of rotate on this really kind of janky, kind of angled shoulder joint. So in order to, I mean, like if you have them down to the side, lifting them up, you see the arms automatically swivel in. So in order to do it, you have to rotate them out, and they do rotate here. And then this whole section here, these also kind of rotate around just to kind of give a different look and such. He rotates at the elbow. His elbow joint just back and forth is on this really kind of cool ratchet joint. Really nothing in his wrists. No, that's all one piece. I'm retarded. Ball joints here at the hip. He rotates at the upper part of the thigh, bends at the knee, and then the feet are kind of pivoting. So again, wonderful, dramatic. I'm kicking my one leg out while keeping it back in action pose, and that's the best I got. In terms of his cannons, you can take one here, and you can plug it in this little square peg. And you can take this one, and you can plug this in that square peg. And now you can have him shooting people in his dramatic, I'm kicking one leg out while keeping the other one back. And that's actually not a very bad pose. That's kind of cool looking. But overall, I actually really do like this figure. Like I said, just because it doesn't have a actual on-screen character is probably why I'm liking it, because I'm able to use my imagination more and be like, yeah, sure, that's kind of how he would look. I'll go with that. Now, to transform him, again, Really kind of fun, really kind of simple. Just take this section, fold these back down and around, fold this bit out, fold this all the way out like so, line that up like that, bring these up, bring these up, rotate these, there we go. These are going to peg together like so, rotate that back, and these are going to lock into place right there. Rotate these up and in. Second verse, same as the first. Doors in, both sides. Make sure that's locked down, and here you have Hotshot back in his vehicle mode. Now, as I said throughout this video, when it comes down to it, this toy I think is better suited for this character than the Bumblebee version that we got previously. Simply because, like I said, it doesn't have any kind of standard to hold it up to. There's no on-screen persona that this toy has to emulate. Unlike Bumblebee, that unfortunately has to live up to how he looks in the cartoon. And the RiD version of the toy really doesn't do that. This guy, I think, with the paint job that we have on it, in addition to the new head, really allows you to use your imagination and kind of use it in a way where you can create your own fun character. I really, really like this guy. And even though the character of Hotshot has kind of become one of the more annoying characters in recent lore, this is definitely a toy that I think you guys would enjoy and have a good time playing with or just displaying in your collection. So without a doubt, I highly, highly recommend picking up Hotshot when you see him. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.